Hello everybody, welcome and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Kyle Brittain. Now I've done some tarot spreads for Kyle, and I also have a very vivid psychic impression which I'll share towards the end of the video. So Kyle was 27 when he went missing, and he was visiting the forest of Waipi'o Valley in Hawaii. On August 30th of 2019, he went for a day hike. He said he was going to hike the Z Trail but hadn't planned on doing the entire 12-mile hike. Kyle was an experienced hiker who had been hiking since childhood. He's not been seen since, despite a huge search effort. The Waipi'o Valley is a valley that's located in the Hamakua district of the Big Island of Hawaii. Waipi'o means curved water in the Hawaiian language. The Z Trail, nicknamed because of the route's zigzag shape, climbs 1,200 feet to the top of a ridge before descending into the Waimanu Valley. The first 3/4 of a mile is a very strenuous switchback, and near the top, there is a look down. There is a great view of the Waipi'o Valley. So in this first spread, what this spread tells me is that it's more of interpersonal reflection of where Kyle may have been at the time, emotionally and mentally. It says basically he was at a point where he was happy and facing, life on his terms, his truth, learning to cope with whatever it was he may have been dealing with at the time, giving and receiving support. Now, so I believe that I heard that Kyle and his family had hiked this trail before together. Now, this was the first time that Kyle had gone out on his own to hike, and he hiked alone. His father said someone saw him around 6 a.m. asking where the bathrooms were, which was kind of weird because if you've been there before, then you should know where the bathrooms were. So I don't know if, I don't know, it's a little sketchy to me. I don't know if the issue is on the witness's end, if that was really who the witness saw was Kyle that day. But if he had been there before, the family's been there, then, I would assume or think he would know where the bathroom was. But that's what the father said, is that someone said that. They also said that his phone had pinged at some point on the trail, but they really couldn't triangulate it because there's only one tower out there and service was sketchy. So this was as of 2019, summer of 2019. It also says that he was in a space of like healing his sense of restricting himself in choices and ideas and, aspirations or wishful thinking. Like he was just trying to come out of a shell, or maybe trying to be more so who he really was. And maybe that was the purpose of going out there alone, was for some introspection. So, okay, let's get into the next spread. So in this spread, I feel like there may have been, I'm convinced that Kyle's disappearance involves foul play, and that he encountered somebody out there that harmed him. So in this spread, it looks like he may have had to speak up or say something about a situation that was happening out there. Maybe he came across someone that was in the act of domestic violence. I feel like there may have been a man and a woman that he may have encountered. Maybe the woman was being harmed, and he may have spoke up and said something, and the male that she was with, harmed him. And I also get the impression that this person was experienced and did this before, or at least is very violent, excessively violent. And I feel like that person probably has some sort of like authoritarian background, like a military background. But let's go through these cards right quick. So the interpretation that I take away from this spread is that I feel like he spoke out about something that disappointed him, that he saw, or that was unjust, and it was regarding a person that was hot-tempered. And we see that with the Knight of Wands, which is in this deck the Knight of Rods. Someone on the trail who was impatient or intolerant, maybe, so the Six of Pentacles representing the community, and then the Knight. So someone in the community where he was hot-tempered or something. So then with the Knight of Swords, looks like the aggressor was either dependent or excessively like violent or under the influence of something. Could have been drunk, could have been something, could have been high, and it led to an unexpected event, or just a decisive moment. And he may have done this to show the aggressor may have done this to show some level of authoritarianism to the female. So he may have participated in this violent act against Kyle as an exhibition so that he could feel more comfortable with his relationship or family situation that he may have felt like he was defending. So if he came across somebody that was, like I said, in the act of domestic violence or something, and this person, obviously out of their mind, felt like they were defending the honor of their household situation or their relationship situation, then within this decisive moment or this excessively violent interaction, they would have felt a sense of completion. And we see that with the Ten of Cups. And so it's like this person was skilled at what they were doing, that they had done this before, and they were very effective. So I take that away. That's what I take away from the Eight of Pentacles. Like this person had done it before. So that's what I get with this spread. Let's see what the next one says. So in this spread, so we have some true crime cards at the bottom, but we see poverty, mature woman, coffin, family room, and then pathways. So pathways could represent long distance, nature, pretty much what you see in the picture has various different meanings. So what I take away from this is that the situation, if this is the case with the couple, there were some impoverished issues, maybe drug abuse, maybe something like that, because this park infuses with the community, like there are community members that kind of live and hang around there. So there could be people that are adjacent to this hiking area that are that may have some issues, drug abuse or something like that, or who knows what it is. But so we see poverty, we see mature woman, and then we see coffin. So I feel like this situation was involving a poor situation, meaning like it was just a bad situation, and a woman was at the center of it, and death resulted as a means of kind of like keeping this family, the idea of family and wholesomeness at the forefront, which would be very distorted. I mean, granted, it would be very distorted, but this person, if true, would have to have severe control issues and just a distorted concept of family and what family should be. And then we see the natural environment with pathways. So beneath, you see gang affiliation tattoo. To me, that's military, because that's what I take away from this. And a government agency was involved with my disappearance, or someone who was associated with a government agency. Again, I see military with that. And then I also see I fell to my death. So at this point, I want to get into my my psychic impressions. So that's essentially what I saw. I saw that he was pushed off of something that had significant height. He was pushed off of it. At first I thought this was the person that did this was connected to him, like there was some sort of I expected to see like Two of Cups or Three of Cups, or maybe lovers, because I got a strong hint that whoever did this was connected to him. Like he went there to meet up with somebody, like he went there to have this excursion with someone secretly, or discreetly, should I say, discreetly, as if this could have been a part of his life that he wasn't ready to share, or whoever he was dealing with may have been dealing with, that he invited there to have this excursion would have been somebody that he wasn't ready to disclose to people who were close to him. I'm wondering if this is somebody he met on the internet, if this is true, and it could have been somebody who was self-hating, right? somebody who was self-hating. So imagine meeting somebody and you think you're hitting it off. And again, remember the first the first spread where we're talking about, coming to terms with who you are and like making peace with it and finally feeling free enough to live in your own skin. Hypothetically, what if there was a sexuality component there? What if he was bisexual or identified as gay? And would this explain why he wanted to do this hike alone without family or friends? And why would he do it alone? And but that's just a hypothetical. So imagine meeting up with somebody, you're excited about it, you have this excursion, you don't really know them, but you're meeting in a somewhat public place, depending on who's around and the volume of people that are going to be on that trail. And then you don't know the person, and the person ends up being a psycho, and they see something in you that they hate about themselves, or maybe they're just like intolerant because they don't like gay people. Maybe he was baited, and maybe this was like a hate crime. So, but I felt like he went there with somebody, because I remember hearing this story before, right? A couple of years back. I remember hearing this story before, and I remember telling, and I say before, I mean a couple of years. And I remember telling myself, I'm going to do that case, I'm going to look at it at some point. And I remember thinking that the story was bizarre. It didn't make any sense. How could he just get lost out there, right? So that was a couple years ago, and he's been with me for like maybe about a week or so. He's been on my mind like heavy. So and he's very clear with me, to be honest with you. He's been working with me this evening, telling me what decks to use. So the hologram deck he wanted before the Rider-Waite. So he's very much, I feel like we're very much interacting, and those cards were flipping out. Like I didn't really have to work hard to get anything out of the cards. But I feel like he was with somebody there, and no one was really supposed to know. It's supposed to be like a discreet like outing, and this person violated him, like not sexually, but just like attacked him, and he ended up like falling to his death, whether it was off of a bridge. Like I don't know if there's a bridge out there, one of them string bridges or whatever, or rope bridges, but I feel like he fell to his demise, and that he's there. He's just like in, and I don't feel like it's like a cliff, he fell into the water. I feel like he's like in vegetation. But yeah, there was a strong feel, and I kept vetting it. And I feel like he met up with somebody, and this was supposed to be discreet, and they were going to have this outing, and then the person just ended up being a psycho. But what I was reading from the cards was what I told you from the cards. But either way, I feel like it's definitely foul play, and he's there. But this is definitely foul play, and either way, he was attacked violently. So, yeah. So that's unfortunate, but when he's here, like when I see him in my mind's eye, and when I feel I'm interacting with him, he's not sad, he's not suffering, he's just in that dimensional space where they're able to just objectively give you information, and that's kind of like what I'm getting. Like I don't feel like he's sad or anything. I feel like he's okay. Like he's very much okay. And so that's it, guys. I'm just gonna leave you with this here. If there's more, I'll come back and make another video, but I just wanted to put this out, and hopefully this will be helpful, especially if somebody tries to go back out and search for his remains. This is very much a fall. This looks very much like a fall to me. Alright guys, so thanks for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the video by liking, commenting on it, and subscribing to the channel. And we will see you in the next video, and let's send him and his family some love. Kyle Brittain. Thanks guys, take care.